People, we gotta talk. Can we talk for a second? Now, I see some of you posting up comments here saying, hey, Mike, it's not enough that you teach us about MMT and all the principles and concepts of MMT and how MMT can be applied to forecasting the economy and the markets and using MMT to know what direction the markets are going to go in and how people are going to react and how we need to fade those reactions. No, that's not enough, Mike. It's not enough that you teach us MMT, and it's not enough that you tell us what stock and what security to buy and what commodity to buy and sell and what currency to buy and sell and what ETF to buy and sell and what bond to buy and sell. No, that's not enough either, Mike. And it's not enough when you tell us at what price we should buy and sell those securities and stocks and bonds and commodities and currencies. No, that's not enough either. And it's not enough when you tell us that you make a profit on every single trade, and so far that every single closed out trade that I have given and which is contained in the MMT trader recommendations, that every single closed out one has been a profit, every single closed out one. That's not enough. And it's not enough when I have subscribers who post up their own comments on here saying they're up 80%. That's not enough. You got to tell us how much of this stuff we got to buy and sell. Come on, people. Toughen up, really, okay? Toughen up. You want everything handed to you on a silver platter. You don't want to think. You just want to be told, like robots, to go do this and go do that. Even if I told you that, which I'm not going to do, okay? Even if I told you that, you're still not going to make money if you are, you know what you're doing there, people who are saying that? You're looking for excuses. You're looking for reasons to point to what I do and say, aha, it doesn't work. That's all you're doing. You're not interested in making money. You're not interested in being a success. You're absolutely not interested in being a success. In my mental game approach, I have the PADDT, patience, alignment, detachment, discipline, and trust. The A stands for alignment. Alignment means doing things in a way that is aligned with your own personality. All I should really be giving you, the only thing I should really be giving you is the MMT understanding. All this stuff with recommendations, and I've said this time and time again, I was totally against giving recommendations for exactly this reason. But it just so happens that every single recommendation I gave, and that has been closed out, is a profit. And some of you say it doesn't matter that it was closed out as a profit. It matters what happens in between. Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what happens in between. The only thing that matters is what the level in my bank account and what's the level in my trading account. And that means profits, okay? For me, it's all about putting the trade on and taking it off. And whatever happens in between, that is noise, all right? I wasn't stopped out in that British pound move. Now, I know some of you were. And some of you who did get forced liquidated, and you didn't get stopped out because you put stops in there like stop losers. You're not stop losers. You made a little bit of maybe a judgment error, but that comes with experience. I want to tell you something. That stop out, that loss that you took is one of the greatest lessons that you are going to learn. I don't care if you had 100 profits in a row. That one thing that happened to you right there is one of the greatest lessons you are ever going to learn. But it's up to you to look at that and view that as a lesson. Some of you might look at that and say, oh, that's Mike Norman's fault, or this is not for me, or I'm going to quit and I'm moving on to something else, or I'm going to find another system that's really, really easy and I don't have any stress and it's going to make money all the time and it's going to be all butterflies and rainbows. Good luck. But the ones that pick themselves up from that, the ones that look at what just happened and take it as a lesson, as a learning experience. You know how many of those I went through in my life? I went through, I've spoken about the tuition that I paid to learn how to trade. Learning how to trade, once you get it, you're going to see how easy it really is, okay? But you're going to have to pay something. Now, I've kept a lot of you from having to pay a lot of money. I paid in the millions. I paid so much that most people would have walked away long before it came to anything close to what I paid to learn how to do this, okay? And I'm keeping that exposure and that hardship and that bill, right? I'm keeping that away from you. You're not going to have to pay that. But this was a lesson. I don't know if all of you are going to take it that way. That's the way you should take it. I can't, make you think a certain way. That is up to you. And you are in control of your own thoughts. But if you want to do this, and if you want to learn, and if you want to be successful, that's the way you have to look at it. That trade, I still have that trade on. And at some point, I can't tell you when, but at some point, that trade is going to be a profit, just like all my other profits. So please, you got to toughen up. Nothing is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. If you expect that, and if you expect that you think you're going to go out and find some system that's going to be so easy and so stress-free and make money all the time and have your little stop losses, and you're going to be able to have this kind of a group think situation where you're always going to be with the crowd and you're never going to feel uncomfortable and you're never going to feel that, your gut churning, and you're never going to feel the stress, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, because that doesn't exist. You can do group think, you could do crowd think, and you could be a loser. Or you could step out and you could think independently, and you could be a contrarian, and you could seek out times that put yourself in stress and in difficulty and learn how to handle those things, and then come out of that as a hugely successful trader. That's the only way it's going to happen. But when you come here and you tell me things, you got to tell us this, and you got to tell us that, and you got to tell us how much, and you got to tell us when, and you got to tell us why. You know something? You're just fishing for excuses. You're fishing for excuses, and you are a loser, and it's never going to happen. It is never going to happen. The winners take responsibility. They seek out the hard and difficult situations, and they win every single time, because either they win or they learn something. And you want to know something? The education is even way more valuable than that particular instance of money in your bank account. And once you start to understand that, then you'll be on the road to real success.